Morning everybody, it's Peter Doyle here, Precision Fit Golf, wishing you all a belated Happy New Year. A couple of inquiries from some clients asking about the differences between some stock shafts versus an aftermarket shaft, like some of the brands we do here, say Acra, Peterson, Graphite Design and so on. So I'm about to show you some of the sort of differences between buying an aftermarket shaft that'll be fitted by a professional club maker versus a stock shaft that's in a club that you might buy in a shop. So as you can see, I've got the shaft clamped in the vise and I've taped over the graphics because we don't really want to say what manufacturer it is. Doesn't really matter. Not all stock shafts are bad, don't get me wrong. I mean, some you could be lucky in some cases, but for a club maker, I suppose it's our job to get something that's as specific as possible for your game. So I'm going to pull the club head back here and try and release it from a left to right motion. What you're going to notice is what the club and shaft do as a unit, okay, in terms of the way they've been assembled right now, okay. So what you probably notice is that you can see the head is oscillating sort of elliptically, so it's not really going in a straight line. So some of you are probably asking, can we reuse the stock shaft again? You certainly can, and the red mark on that piece of paper that you would have seen around the circumference of the shaft, that would have been the most optimum plane of the shaft, being honest about it. Could you use it again? You couldn't use this particular shaft in that instance, and the reason being was because this shaft was playing at about 236 cycles per minute at 46-inch length, which when we plotted on one of our older charts showed that this was actually playing stiff flex. Now the gentleman using this is 68 years of age. He swings a club at about 81 miles an hour, and that is it's no way near what you need to be swinging a shaft that's going to play to that flex. So could you cut it down? You could cut it down by all means, but then you're going to affect the balance of the club. So that's why you need to talk to a club maker about the type of head that you're using, what type of shaft is going to go in to give us the right swing weight, the right length and the right balance. Okay, so what you can see now is I put a different shaft in. So obviously the stock one was black, this one is white. It's an aftermarket shaft from Mitsubishi Rayon. We obviously do Acra, Peterson, Graphite Design, Valix, Project X. So there's a wide variety of aftermarket shafts that we can put in. I'm going to show you the difference now between the relationship between the shaft and the head when we put them together, and we'll see what happens to the club head. So what you notice now is it's starting to settle now. You can see that it's actually starting to move more or less in a straight line. So if you think about the other club head that you would have seen with the stock shaft, it was moving elliptically. All right. Let's do it again. There you go. Just so you can even see the reflection on the top of the club head where the light shine off. You can see it's just moving back more or less in a straight line. You see, for some of you, you might think that a golf shaft is perfectly concentric. It isn't. It's slightly curved. So I suppose being Irish, if you were to take, say, a hurley and you went out to puck a slitter, the easiest way to explain this is that when you saw what was happening with the club head here in the studio and it was oscillating off plane, imagine someone pucking a slitter and the boss of the hurley dipping down and you missing it, maybe like the toe of the hurley or maybe down near the heel. That's the easiest way to explain that. A hurley would never do that because of the way it's made and the type of materials, but because of the nature of a golf shaft, because it's slightly curved, you see what it does to a club head. If you get a club maker to put it together with, say, an upgrade or an aftermarket shaft, or if you're lucky, maybe taking a stock shaft and you might be able to sort of fix it to some degree, then there's a better chance that you will hit the ball out of the middle of the club. But the thing is, because golf, you're dealing with such a small surface area, you need to be hitting the ball closer to the centre. And if you've got a shaft like this that isn't aligned correctly from the start, you're at a loss from the very beginning. So what you can see about the graph as well, I'm just putting up on the screen there, that's the number I was talking about. So that's your 235 or 236 cycles per minute. Now if you look at the length, what we do is we just plot the length versus the CPM. And like I said, I have said before, you're going to get guys saying, oh, Peter, what about shaft profiling, torque, etc. I'm basically just using this as a general guideline. But as you can see, 235, 236 CPM at 46 inches. When you plot the two of those, you can see that is where it falls into. It falls into more or less stiff flex. Now stiff flex are typically anything 95 up to maybe 110, and there's some shafts that you will buy that will say stiff flex and they could be 5 or 6 degrees of torque, and therefore okay, it can be, the swing speed can be slightly less. The problem with this shaft that I just took out was that it's about 4 degrees of torque, maybe about 3.8. That is just too stiff for anyone who's about 68 years old. So now if we use that as a general guideline, right? Now, if I was to take the same club, if I was to say take the same profile, I was to move that over 2 inches in the graph, as you'll see, about to do it here now, what you'll see is that suddenly we're moving through the flexes. So you're going from stiff down to regular, and you may even reach A flex. In which case now, because we've changed the length and we've still maintained the flex, that club is still is now more flexible and at a length that's more manageable. But the sooner you make it 46 inches or 45 and a half, you're making it a bit more difficult. More energy is required just to get that club head to square. And that's all we're basically trying to show here. It's a basic thing, but it gives you a bit of an idea of why a regular shaft may not be playing regular, or maybe where a stiff flex may be playing even stiffer than that. Again, you don't. So like I said, thanks for watching. It's early on Saturday morning. Like I said, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this. You can see there's 2 differences anyway, like immediately. Flex, you're buying a stock shaft, it might say that it's 1 flex on it, but actually it turns out to be something else. It could be softer, could be stiffer. At the length of this using, that's the other thing too. With a lot of stock shafts, they tend to be longer, counterbalanced. It's a shame because you see all these brilliant heads that they're bringing out. When I'm saying brilliant now, because some are good, some are really good, some are grand. But the thing is, they bring out all these amazing heads, and what happens is with a stock shaft, if you get it, and the thing is, it's not consistent with the flanks or the length that you need. The thing is, you're paying all that money for something that is probably really, really good, but it's the stock shaft, it's the engine of the club which is actually letting you down. So that's why talking to a professional club maker is critical if you want to start to be hitting that club head more effectively the whole time. So I'd like to say just thanks very much for watching again, and if you have any questions about aftermarket shafts, upgrades, etc., even club making and how we build clubs, please don't hesitate to contact us. You can contact us on our usual email, which is peter@precisefitting.com, or alternatively any of the telephone numbers that are listed on the website. Thanks very much, and I hope you get out to start playing some golf soon. Take care.